Welcome to Trading Lounge and the daily US stocks for Tuesday, April 19. Just want to start with the Nasdaq today before we look at the stocks. So, in a bit of a nutshell, we're looking at 5 waves down here. So, we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, the fourth wave, and the fifth wave. So, to me, it's pretty clear that it's 5 waves. You could probably put on for the sake of the bullish side, we could probably look at it as an A and a B and 1 and 2 and 3 and an A, B, C. It doesn't really count very well, but so we could possibly count it as a low for wave C of 2. So we'll keep an eye on that, but I don't think that's the case. But I'm not going to throw it out. We'll just keep an eye on it. So in a nutshell, we're looking for a rally now for wave 2. In a lot of cases with stocks, we're looking at an A wave here and a B wave here and a C wave down for a W. There's also the possibility, so if we look at these as 5 waves here, there's also the possibility of, in some stocks, and Apple is one of them that we're going to be looking at, it's possible to have this already here with wave A here and then wave B over here and then down for 1 here and then back for wave 2 here, having a shorter move here and coming down. Now that's not really going to affect us too much because in most cases we can look to short this current low. So that will be our first step. Now obviously if the market pushes up, then we're going to be looking at getting a better shorting position. Can you go long? In some cases we could look to go long to trade this move up here, but you'll need to be pretty careful about what you do at that point for that. It's really left for day traders and not trend traders at this point. So yeah, I could just leave that there and bring this back to this point. So just to recap, it's pretty clear that we've got 5 waves down. We're looking for some sort of correction, and in a lot of cases it will be wave B here, and that could be the same as well, but we don't need to get into that just yet. So the second thing is that we may, in a lot of cases, and probably if it's going to happen, it will be in all cases, so we need to be prepared about this. So in this case, taking this length down to here and coming back to, roughly the 60%, maybe shorter, maybe above that, and then coming down. But to resolve that problem, we're just going to look to go short under the current lows here, right? Or we could go to that low in this case. But we'll talk about that with the Nasdaq. But yeah, so just to recap, we are looking at this being bearish. We're looking for a rally. In some cases, we may just go half the way up of this last trend and come down, so we need to be mindful of that. But otherwise, we'll just observe the rally going to the upside. So with Apple here, for example, instead of counting 5 waves down, we'll count 5 waves down, but instead of calling it wave 1 and 2, we're going to call it A and B here, and then a C for a W, and then an X, and then another 5 down here. So an A, B, C for the sort of W here, then a B, X, and what's the name? So yeah, in this case, it looks like we've already got 5 coming down here. So let's go in and explore this. If I'm wrong with all of this on the bullish side, as I mentioned with the Nasdaq, then we'd need to look at this as wave 1 to the upside. But like I said, it's a little bit difficult to do that. Well, we can count this up as 5 waves, as a C wave or wave 1, but this is starting to look like, it's hard to get this here as an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave down here because we've got strong overlap in this. But like I said, I'm not going to throw it out, and I'm going to be mindful of it, and we'll work through anything that looks sort of bullish as well. We don't want to miss anything, so we need to be open and flexible and go with the trade setups as such. So anyway, let's go in and have a look. We're just going to look at this trend onto the downside here. So on this chart here, we're looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the A wave, and then an A, B, C for the B wave here, and then down for 1 here and back for 2. So in this case, now that that's moved up a little bit, so just to sort of look after the short side, we can look at it like this here. And it's also possible, just why I'm here, like with the Nasdaq, we counted 5 waves down, so we could put this A wave here, we could put this over here. So that means that we would look for a higher correction. But in this case, we're just looking for a move. And this may be the case throughout the market. So this is why we need to be a little bit careful about this situation. So we'll know in a session or two where we are in terms of the upside. But the exercise today is just to, with all the markets, is pretty much call this low in here and look to go short below that low. Now we have to look at things to see how far to the upside we can go. And in narrowing that down in a practical way, if this was actually 5 waves to this point, then we would be looking for this move to go to this point here. Let's get rid of that and put this in. So this being the 61.8% mark. So if we got a classic trading levels pattern on 172 there, well then we would be looking at being bullish at that point. So if we got a pattern like this, if that's the 172 here, if we've got this arrival reaction, first high above the level, the ABC, and then another little pattern over here, then we'll look to be long, and we'll turn bullish at that point, because that's the point that I'd be wrong. Okay, now like I said, it's possible that this market can just climb to here and then drop. So that's why we've got that covered. It's also possible in a lot of cases that we get this ABC pattern up to here and then drop from that point. So if this is the case here, well then we just go short here and that's job done, right? If this is going to climb higher here, then we'll lift this green point to this green line to this one here, and then we'll also look at this here and we'll have a little blind spot here, because we want to kind of figure out, is that the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level for that pattern on the long side here, which would create the long trade at this point here for that. So really it's just a matter of like breaking the problem down into sections. So they're the 3 things that we need to basically look at this particular point. Now the question is, you know, should we be trading long off here? Well, I think that's just best left to very short-term traders, but we should see a rally, so there's no problems in going long. It's just you know, I don't know if we get to this box or we'll get to this box here, so that will be the problem in that case. In this regard here, I won't go to the 100 tick and the 5 tick and pull all this apart. There's just sort of no need for that. But the point being here is that we just look to go short under this current low here for this market. Now in this market here, as I mentioned, we've got this coming down here as the A wave here, the B wave here, and wave 1 and 2 here, and then coming down for 3, 4, 5. Now, like I mentioned, is that I feel like most stocks, we've got this wave A sitting, wave A or wave 1 sitting over here, so we're going to be going higher up in that case. Okay, so this is really the only one that we'll be looking at it like this, but the other stocks could do the same. So even though we're talking about it going back up here, possibly in the other markets, they could also just go up to up a couple of sessions and then drop. So we need to be mindful of that. So with that in mind, we'll move in. This is just Amazon. So I mean, the main takeaway here is that we're at 3,000 and it's a strong number, you know, so we can expect a bounce in this case. Now we've also got a bullish count for this, because we could look at this as wave 1 to the upside and back for wave 2 here, so we'll have a look at that first at the 5k, and then we'll go into the bearish count at the other numbers here. So let's just check on that at 5k. So it's possible to view this here like this, and this is wave 1 and ABC for 2 here in this, but we'd want to get a nice impulse wave to the upside. So we're looking for corrective waves in stocks, but you know, to get a bullish move we would need 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 in terms of catching a trend. You know, in day trading this, it's a different story, or very short term. And once we got 5 there, well, then we would have an ABC to pull back at this point, wouldn't we? And because we got 5 waves here, that means we can buy on right on the pullback low here because of those 5 waves, and if not, we can go on the B wave high here, which will be safe as well. So we just need to keep an eye on this. We'll see how it rallies off this low here in that regard. 1000, I think, or 100. So yeah, this is our bearish count here. So last time we spoke, we were looking for, you know, it's just natural to have a bounce off this low, and that's really what we're looking for. So let's just put this in here first. If we've indeed got that, we could look for a rally at this point. And this is where, as I mentioned before, that if we've got this wrong here, we may rally up until that point. And if not, if we just rally to sort of just here or even halfway up here and come down, we will need to be ready to be able to short this market further down in this case, you know. So I think we're on, was it 100 ticks? I think was the next one, yeah. So this is where we left off last time for this. So we'll just tidy this up a little bit. Talked about a few things, yeah, so we can look to go long at that point, but we don't need that for the moment, and I think everything's pretty much the same. So this pattern is a little bit more advanced than the other ones, so the other ones have just arrived here. So I do wonder if, for instance, we've got this as some sort of A wave here, B wave here, and a C wave here for this wave 4, and then this wave 5 over here. I'm not sure, but either way, we should see 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to the upside here on this. It may get a bit more complicated. We'll see which, I've got to tune back in and see which stocks are moving and so on. But if you want, if you want to go long, then you would do it from that point there. But I'm not going to run on that at this point. Yeah, this could just have a little A wave here, B wave here, and a C wave here, and then come down for that point. But even so, when we're talking about the level here, like 3000, we need to look at the bearish side of things as well. So we don't normally chase it coming through here. We really wait for the retest to come into play. And on that retest there, then we would look for the short trade on this side here as the B wave low here. So in that case, we would look at, on the downside, on this 3000 here, the market comes down. We've done that. We've got the arrival. We're in the reaction mode here at the moment. Now we do have one move up, which could be, you know, the A, the B, and the C. But even so, even if we get it wrong and the market comes down through here, we still have to allow it to come down and then retest, because, you know, 95, well, a very high probability that we get that retest all the time. There's degrees of this retest, of course. There might be a little retest in here that could probably get you into trouble, but if you realize that, well, then you'll know where you are and so on. So we need this to go short here, and we start from the bottom and then we work up, and then we look to short over this side, and then we get that run down there. So it really helps with the timing on that side of it. So this is the arrival, and then this is the reaction that we're looking at here. Now, I'm not, as I mentioned with NASDAQ, I'm not sure if we go all the way up here or we just go a little way up and then we come down, but we still want that retest to occur on this level here, because that will validate the next move to the downside. So we'll just see how that goes. Everything's going according to plan with Amazon, so that's good. And Google here, I did tweak the count a little bit. I still need, I've just looked at this here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So I did sort of tweak that a little bit, but we want that. We're looking for that rally, and we'll just allow that to be for a little bit, you know. like I said, the mistake that I make here is that this could just go up halfway up here as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, and then come down. But if it does come down, we still want that retest under the medium level here. We want the market to prove to us that it's actually going down, and it does that by having a failed retest at that point. So we need to find that low at that point, you know. But otherwise we just need to observe this going to the upside. Once again, if you wanted to go long, you can go long here with the stop just under here for that. How far you get, I don't know if you just get a C wave here and you come down, or you'll get 5 waves up for the A wave and then the B wave. So trading this is a little bit tricky. Sometimes it's better just to, you know, if you're looking for the bigger trend to the downside, then it's probably, you know, kind of, you don't want to get sort of off kilt by having a loss in the rally and then missing the next trend down, you know. So yeah. Meta, just on the bigger picture here, we're looking at the turn in wave 4 here. So we can see the stochastics pulling back in here. So we're looking for a rally here as well within this market. And I think we're on 100 ticks, so we'll go to that. So it's been working in the trend to the downside, and now we can see on that daily stochastics we're looking for a move to the upside here. So look, I may have this wrong, but I'm just not sure where I've got it wrong at. You know, I was sort of looking for a wave 4 here, and then a wave 5 to come down here. We're definitely going to get a bounce off this number here. Currently we're in the 50-60% area. We're also on 210, which is really number 1, so 1, 2 and 3. So 1 is a strong number, so we're going to get some move here. It's always logical that in Elliott that wave 4 breaks the 1-2 trend line, so we'll see that occur. So I'm a little bit unsure, but the count's pretty clear to me. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for this. So I think I'm okay with this, but it's a bit out of kilt with the other markets as wave 4, but it's still in that upwards rally projection. And it does appear that we do, in all these cases, we've got 5 waves off the low here, so we should be seeing further upside come into play. So once again, you can go long right where it is and put the stop underneath there for very short-term traders, and that will take you higher. But yeah, that's where we are there. What's next? Microsoft. So it's kind of interesting, Microsoft, because when you think of some of those stocks that we looked at, like at the beginning of things, even the NASDAQ, and that this whole move up here could be wave 1. Well, we can see that, we know that Microsoft is one of the big boys. So we can see how low it's come here and compared to its last trend. You know, so it really puts that bullish, bearish light on the markets, you know. So yeah, it's looking for sort of weakness in those sorts of things. So yeah, this here is a wave 1 and back for wave 2 here. It will be less likely, and that means it'll be less likely for other stocks as well if we're seeing that weakness in this particular stock. So we're on the right track. Rightio, so we want to go in and have a look at 2K and 1K here. So from an X wave to a Y wave here, we're looking for an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here for that. Where are we here? 2K. So I think this is where we left off last time here for this. So that's sort of unfolding okay-ish. So in this case, we should see a larger move up, but like I say, the same thing goes again. We may have this wrong, and we just get a rally against, you know, 61.8% of this leg here, and then come down again. So let's just, and this one's sort of lagging a little bit, let's just see what we got here. So what it does do is it's a matter of deduction, dear Watson. So that's what we're doing. We just, now that we've got that low in, we can use that low. Now will we be able to use it, very soon or much later, or will we be able to use it at all? Do we need to lift it up to this low? And if that's the case, well, we may be able to short further up here with this. So that sort of thing is what we need to start working through now. But like I said, the move down here is quite deep, isn't it, compared to this? I mean, you could look at it on the bullish front as an A wave here, a B wave here, and then 5 waves down here for the C wave, and we're finished and we're going to go all the way up. If that was the case, well then I'd need to see a larger impulse wave in this space, and that will take a little bit of time to see that. And secondly, that I'd also need to see the 300. No, I don't necessarily need to see the closest largest number here as the support. And also why we're here as well and talking is that this is the number that the market's working with in the bigger picture, and then we've got group 1 above, and then we've got group 2 below, and that's the swing range for this market to be, to play out here, and it's all quite good at this point. So what we normally say, if we get support on the 330, then we know we're leaving this number, a tested support, and then the same down here, if we get a tested resistance at 265, the lower end here, or I normally say the 72 here, then we can look to the short side. But at the same time, we try to improve on that if the market has matured in this space, which it is maturing in this space. It's been here for a while, and we're going to see a breakout. The question is will it be below the level or above the level, the breakout? So now we're looking really at, we've had a little retest here, and that could have been a short. I don't know if we looked at that or not, I can't recall. But now we're looking at this retest coming into play now. So let's go in and break that down a little bit further. So that's even made a little new low there on that. So that's sort of interesting. Where does that leave us? Does that leave us with 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, the fourth wave, and the fifth wave? We've got an A wave and a B wave and a C wave. I'm not sure. I have to give that a thought, but I'm still just going to go with the model in the meantime, that if that low is broken, then we need to look at that further. I'll figure that out. But yeah, if that low is breached, I mean, if they go down, they're all going to go down. Basically, that's the bottom line. Otherwise, we look for some sort of move here to the upside. It's sort of lagging a little bit. Otherwise, we'll just be looking at a move from this high here to this low, either one of those, to this level here, and we'll see a down move in that point. And because if I've made a mistake, then I will have to put this wave 2 or wave B over here for that one at that point, and look at this as wave 1 and 2 and coming down further. But we've got that covered. Okay, so we're doing all the right things. It's not perfect, but gives us a little bit of practicality and logic in our tactics. So that's Microsoft and Tesla. So with Tesla, we can look at this in a bullish fashion or a bearish fashion. So the bearish fashion is looking at this having another leg over here, as I've mentioned before, and looking at this as an A and a B and a C wave up here for the B wave. And the bullish would be looking at this as wave 4 already in place, and then wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and back for 4 here, and then going up for wave 5 here. Now, it's not the end of the world if it does move up. If it moves up in wave 5 here, then that would leave us with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. So then that would give us an A wave and a B wave that could pull back 50 or 60%, but would probably find support back on the 1000 and then move up. So if that's the case, we would approach this market at this point here for that. Okay, and we've got a count for that. So we're going to have a look at the bearish count and the bullish count. We'll start with the bullish count, which I think is here. No, this is the bearish count. So have a look at the bullish count first on this one here. So as I just mentioned, it's wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and ABC for 4 here, and we go up at that point. Now, it's not really giving us a good from this wave 4 here, it's not really giving us a good impulse wave here. It looks a little bit corrective. Could look at this slightly differently as well. We could look at it as a wave 4 and put this over here as wave 4 here for that. That would probably also work with 1 and 2 and 3 and ABC for 4 and down for 5. Could we see it come down any further? Could we see it be wave 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 4? I don't know, because I think the 38.2 looks like it should be, well, I think we've checked that before, haven't we, at the 1000. So we don't want to see it drift down any further than it needs to at this point. But I could see that you could put that there rather than call this wave 1 with an A and a B and a C, because this looks doesn't look like a B wave. It looks like more of an impulse wave. So it looks like an A, B, C here. So I think wave 4 would have to be there at that point. Should we go long here? I don't know. It's more of a day trading thing, but if I went long here, I would need to take that top out, and then I'll need to put the stop under here, which is quite good because you've got this level to work with it here. How far it moves up is the question. So on the 2K tick, we'll look at the bearish side of things. So with the bearish side of things, we'll basically look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 in here, and then we're looking for some sort of ABC pattern. So on the short side, we can look to go short here. You could probably put half a position under this little low here for that at this stage of the game. So we'll just put that as a half there for that, so it doesn't do too much damage. But yeah, it does look corrective at that level, but we're just going to go to the 100 ticks and just check on that a little bit further. So yeah, so this is where we were speaking last time with 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 and A and B and C wave here for that. Anyway, let's just see what happens. We should see that lift off a little bit, but if I've got this wrong, well then this will be wave 1 with an ABC here, and we'll come down at that point. But on the short side, we can go at that, on that level there now for that. So you don't want to do it actually on the low. You want to do it like 1 point below the low, because that's where all the orders will be sitting. But at the same time too, then you need to just gravitate over to the closest largest number. In this case, it will be the number 8. If you're talking about 8, then you're talking about group 2. So that will be 65, so 965. And then you would also look at 72 in there as well. So that's really the support for the number of 1000 in the first instance. So if you're going to go short, you would want at least the 72 here as a retested resistance, and then also look to the 65 to do that as well. So you could bring that down, but I can see what's sort of going on here a little bit. I think we're okay here being a little bit closer to the market, but we definitely look to short below this level here as well in that case. But in the meantime, let's see what picture that we get up here. If you're going to go long, well then you would want to go long above this high here for that and keep the stop under here. But if that's triggered at that point, then you can put the stop under this one here. So yeah, let's see what we get here. And also there'll be a struggle to the upside, because there'll also be group 1, which is, if we're talking about group 2, we can put in group 1 here. So this is 1, 2 and 3, and then there will be 5 here for that, and then there'll be group 2 again, so 65 here, 72 and 80, and we just normally color that in there for 72, just to, nothing sort of special, but 72 is the backbone of that space. There's a lot of other numbers in there, as I keep mentioning, but yeah, let's see how far the rally goes and what the rally looks like. You know, I mean, as far as a bullish market for everything, it's a bit of a long shot, because we can see in this case here that we've got 3 waves here for this. So I don't think that we are going to be bullish in that instance for markets in general. Let's move along. I think we're at, I didn't do square actually. We're square. Looks like we've got one more move here for this. So it's going to be a bit of a late comer to the show. So a short trade for this will be, we can put a line through here, or we can put it across here for this, unless I've made a mistake here for this. It looks like a wave 4 here. That's what I've got wrong before. I was looking at this as being 4 and 5, but that's it there. So we'll just give it some time. We want it to line up with everything else, you know. So with the banks, BAC here, for example, let's just so from this B wave up here, we're looking down at 1 and 2 here, and then 3, 4, and 5. So very clear that we got 5 waves down here. So we're looking for an A and a B and a C as we were last time. If I've got this wrong, then we'll be going down from here. Now the way that I would get this wrong is that wave 1 would go over here, and wave 2 would go over here for that. Okay, and this would be wave 1 with a little ABC for 2, and then we would just come down from that point. So that's possible. I don't think it's the case, but I do need to point it out. It does leave us with the option of obviously being short below this one here, but yeah, I just want to give it some time here. I mean, even if it does drop down through here in the next session, in the session after, we'll have 5 waves down, then I'll have 3 waves back up, so we can short the B wave on the other side. So as an A wave here, for an A wave can be 3 waves, or it can be 5 waves. So it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here for the A wave here. So that it'll be nice if we get 5 waves for the A wave, because then we'll know that we'll get the B wave here, and then we know that we'll get the C wave at that point, and then we'll turn from that point. So let's just see what we get here. But I mean, I'd like to say short it under here, but I don't want to do that just in case the A wave here, put the A wave here, and the B wave pulls back 61.8%, will trigger us in here and then go long from that point. So we won't have it. We just need to be a little bit patient there for that. And this is JP here, so we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to me now that's all nice and clear, you know. So that means we can look here for the A and the B and the C. I haven't put any work into this here. I won't worry about it for a little while. I just want to focus on the rally. So based on the banks is where I've really got the bearish count for everything from to a point. So yeah, so let's just see how this plays out. We need to see what it looks like here. We need to see how we can find our way in. We need to see if the A wave here is going to give us 5 waves up or 3 waves up, and so on. Now if I'm wrong, then with all of this, then from this high to this low here, this is probably about right. So if we got support on this one here, 136, let me just double check this so we get things right. Okay, the 61.8% is just a tad higher. Not that it's a big deal at all. Anyway, if we get this area here as support, but then we wouldn't, and you know, we'd need to look to be long at that point if we got that as support. But we'd also need to have a possible 5-wave structure from that point there as well. So nothing to do here in the markets at the moment. So we can just really allow them to play out in these rallies. But like I said, any sort of sharp moves from anything below these moves now, then we need to be looking at the short side, okay, just in case I got it wrong. So this is a bit dodgy up here, and you know, if I've got this as 5 waves to this point, well then it makes this wave 1 here, and that means that we would only rally a small amount up here. So this is what we just need to be careful about. So we could just rally to this point, but obviously covering that gap and being at the 61.8% and being at 130, the top of group 1, well then it's likely to, you know, spend time there anyway. So just be a little bit careful about that. And then from that high point, if the market actually does get to that point, then we also need to look at the downside here as well. So we would need, on the downside for the wave B here, we would need that price point, whatever it is, at 127.20 there, which is actually a part of group 2 of the 128. the next degree down. So if this is a minor level here, then this would be sub-level, subgroup 2 in here, 265, so 2650, 127.20 and 128 make up group 2 in there. So maybe we'll pull that apart when it comes to it. This is 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So probably a nice third wave. So maybe 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3. It could be 1 and 2 as well there. It's not finished anyway. Whatever it is, doesn't matter at this point. We'll just let them all unfold and play out to this point. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.